it is so important to celebrate those who have left a mark on this world that reverberates over generations. And Sly Stone is definitely one of those people. I finally watched his documentary. I think Questlove, yeah, was the director. Is on Hulu, and it talked about the advantages and disadvantages, or the curses and blessings to Black genius, and how some D'Angelo said something that resounded. Well, let me make sure I'm echoing the positive sentiment. If you don't know him and his music and his influence, look him up, listen to his music. Oh my gosh, the instrumentation, the fact that he could play multiple instruments. I don't know how I missed, because I never really paid attention to the whole band. It was him, and I have to listen to him. I didn't really watch him in concert because he's a lot. I mean, when he came out, I wasn't even born, but I remember hearing his music, and I didn't even realize the majority of the band when he first started was his brothers. Like when you look at the picture, all of them look alike. Always had a beautiful head full of hair. Oh my gosh, his hair was so beautiful. So the man can sing, the man can play, he can write. Like they were showing him an actual, they were playing recordings of him in a recording session, and how they say he would do multiple takes. He's like, you're not playing the right note. Let's play it again. You're not playing the right note. Let's do it again. So, but they go through his life, the rise and fall of Sly Stone, which I hate to say that. And for those who don't know, his fall was drugs. But one thing that was never said, and people don't realize, people don't just do drugs to do drugs. Like, I want to get high. I want to, no, they're trying to escape something. And I feel like I've said this in a video before. When you watch the documentary Ray with Jamie Foxx, he was escaping the guilt he felt associated to his brother's death. Oh my gosh, Billie Holiday, who was played by, oh gosh, I don't know why her name is evading me, but she sings a song, Andra Day. I want to say she was prostituted by her mom. She had to live on her own. They were escaping something, and that has always been my biggest gripe. One of many, how people deal with Black culture is, it's okay for white people to be a drug addict, go to rehab, and get better, and they're claim to fame. And that's something D'Angelo said. He said these rock stars rocked out. They did some stuff, and yet they're able to, they get their flowers, they get their money, their wealth, and they're able to pass that on. But our people, that doesn't happen that way. And it's sad. And it shouldn't be that way. Like even James Brown, I don't even know if they ever settled his estate and whatever happened with the money and all that he had given, all the, and he was one of the few. They said he had his own jet, he made his own money. Like there's a lot of things that James Brown did that made him rich, but things happen, and it just makes you really think. So it's just like, actually wrote a poem. I have to go back and really redevelop, but it was like, Black boys should be allowed to just be. Like, we should be allowed to make mistakes. We should be allowed to be a menace to society. And I say that because there's plenty of other races, especially white people, that are menace to society. They're allowed to escape prison time, rehabilitate themselves, reform themselves. Not saying we don't do that, but society sometimes doesn't allow us to do that. And it's, yeah. So I'm going on more than I want to, but it's just, I have a feeling they didn't really reveal any childhood trauma he dealt with growing up. They did admit, and this is what we need to go back to. This is part 2, part 3 of this video. And my pastor, Marcia, said this. We have to get back to where the church is a base as far as even arts. She didn't say this, but I was thinking that a lot of the civil rights movements and the meetings and how they strategize was in churches. We have to get back to that. Even to how kids develop. If you listen to a lot of these singers and rappers, not all of them, but a significant number, they admit it was in church. Sly Stone admitted, I think he was only one day a week he wasn't in church, because he said if he wasn't in church, like a church service, they were practicing. They were practicing for the service. They were practice the choir practices and the praise and worship and the devotion and we had a service afterward. And from that he picked up playing the guitar, playing the piano, and singing. So it's like we have to get back to where the church is a hub where our kids can grow and learn, along with going to school, even though we know that education is being attacked right now. But if we have that hub within the school, within the church, it will help so much of our people grow. But I'm digressing. I feel like I'm rambling, but it was just so much that was covered. No, that's what I was talking about. I feel like the drugs was an escape from the pressure, because he was a phenomenon. He would sell out crowds. And then once the drug use became apparent, is that he wouldn't show up, or he wouldn't finish a show, or the show would start late, and he would try to get back his footing. And I forgot when they said he really finally stopped doing drugs. Like it took a minute. It took a minute. They even at one point showed his arrest record, and it was like back to back to back to back to back to back to back. So it's a beautiful story to tell, but I appreciate the transparency of it and the reality of it. And people they interviewed Q-Tip, Andre 3000, D'Angelo, which I would love a documentary on D'Angelo, because if you watched his career, there was a huge gap of time he wasn't performing, and he wasn't, and I always wondered the story behind that. I'm pretty sure there's an interview out there somewhere. And And of course, they interviewed all the members, the original members of the Sly family Stone. Sly is never interviewed once. They interviewed his children, his beautiful children, um, and then the different women. It was three different women. One he married at Madison Square Garden, and then after that they had this huge concert, and then that was the oldest son, Sly Jr. And then you have the two girls, who the girls, one of the girls admitted, she's the middle daughter. I'll put her name in it when I go to repost this video. But she admitted she saw her dad do drugs. So when nobody was around, they literally took a razor blade and chalked up actual chalk, sidewalk chalk. And she said they snuffed it up their nose. And her mom was like, "What the heck are you doing?" And she said, "You had like pink and green on her nose." I was like, "What? Like, you're that exposed to the foolery?" And matter of fact, her mom was an original member of the Sly family Stone. She admitted her mom never loved again after Sly, even though he moved on to somebody else. And that's when he had the third daughter. They admitted they did not have the best. He wasn't there, but they said now he's totally a different guy and he's present, which is a blessing. Because I didn't realize also, I thought he was dead. And then I realized not only him, but all of his siblings are also alive. So, and they showed some pictures of him, what he looks like now, and him with the kids and the grandkids. It's a beautiful story.